That was when he became a billionaire. Now, listen to me very carefully. What we are going to do is this. We are going to have our own currency, but it's not going to be based on paper. We will try to minimize paper. The world has moved on. There are cashless transactions. Everybody will have their own card with which to make payments. All over the world, people are moving to cashless. Nobody carries cash anymore, but our own currency will be called a gemma, which is the currency of the Asians. Our own currency will be called a gemma, which is the currency of the Asians. A gemma, it will be called. No pound, no dollar, no nothing. We are who we are.
Simon Ekpa has expressed a strong sense of fulfillment, stating that Biafra's dream of independence is on a path to reality as it gains international recognition. According to Simon Ekpa, the journey towards Biafra's self-determination is supported by the sacrifices made by the Biafra Republic government in exile, BROGIE, and the commitment of Biafrans worldwide, which he believes will soon culminate in full sovereignty. However, the Biafra Republic government in exile has announced the adoption of the Biafra digital currency with the Act 04/2004, which empowers the government to provide digital currency to Biafrans in Biafra coin. According to them, the value of one Biafra coin is $1. Simon Ekpa made a declaration on his official X handle, formerly known as Twitter, that the Biafra Republic government in exile, BROGIE, has announced the adoption of the Biafra digital currency. That after the declaration of Biafra independence on the 2nd of December 2024, Biafra will start using their new introduced currency, which is known as the Biafran coin. According to him, one Biafra coin is equivalent to $1. Simon Ekpa also pointed to the upcoming Biafra convention as a pivotal event that will affirm Biafra's independence and signal to the world that Biafra is here to stay. According to his words, the Nigerian government cannot stop it. No forces on earth can prevent Biafra from happening, he stated confidently, portraying a vision of Biafra that no opposition can stand against it. Even the Nigerian government has no power to stand against the formation of Biafra as a sovereign state. One major highlight of the convention will be the unveiling of Biafra's official currency called a gemma, which Simon Ekpa says marks a significant step towards establishing the nation's identity on the global stage. Simon Ekpa, who is known for his strong leadership within the Biafra movement, has been an outspoken figure pushing for Biafran independence. He has taken a lead role in spreading Biafra's cause internationally, often clashing with Nigerian authorities who are firmly against the separation. The Biafra Republic government in exile, an organization Simon Ekpa represents, has been actively working from outside Nigeria to secure international support for Biafra's independence. Their mission, as Simon Ekpa describes it, is to ensure that Biafra becomes an independent nation that can operate fully on its own. Imagine a land filled with rich history and a people full of passion for their heritage and identity. That is what you find in the southeastern part of Nigeria, a region that is often associated with Biafra. For decades, Biafra has been a powerful idea, one that represents the dream of a people who have longed to be recognized as a distinct nation. But these dreams have faced many challenges, with tensions that go back to the 1960s, when Biafra attempted to become an independent nation, leading to a devastating civil war. Ever since then, the idea of Biafra hasn't gone away. In fact, it has revolved, grown, and continued to live in the heart of those who believe in the Biafran identity. Now, in recent times, a new voice has emerged to push this vision forward: Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is someone who has caught a lot of admiration and attention, especially within the Biafra movement. Simon Ekpa speaks with a powerful conviction, and his words seems to resonate deeply with many who feel that Biafra should one day be independent. He is bold, vocal, and some might even say fearless in his approach to the cause. His name is now known across Nigeria and even internationally, especially among those who follow the ongoing Biafra independence movement. Simon Ekpa has been making some big declarations recently, and his latest statement is both ambitious and dramatic. He's not just saying that Biafra will someday be free, he is declaring that it is unstoppable. According to him, Biafra's independence isn't just a distant hope, it is a reality waiting to unfold, and he is saying it with confidence, almost as if it is already happening right in front of our own very eyes. Let's break down what he's aiming for and how he plans to get there. According to Simon Ekpa, this journey towards Biafra's self-determination isn't something that is happening in isolation. He says it is the result of sacrifices and commitments made by Biafras both in Nigeria and those living in abroad. Many of these supporters are part of what is known as the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, or BRGIE for short. This organization is made up of Biafrans who have chosen to live outside Nigeria, often because it is safer for them to support the movement from afar without the fear of government pushback or persecution. They believe in Biafra so much that they are dedicating their time, resources, and energy to make this vision a reality from abroad. For Simon Ekpa and his followers, these sacrifices are what keeps the dream alive. They see the struggle as a long and tough journey, one that has required immense strength and resilience. It is like they are walking a road full of obstacles, but each step brings them closer to what they believe is the ultimate prize: a free and sovereign Biafra. According to Simon Ekpa, every Biafran who contributes to the cause, whether financially, emotionally, or physically, is part of a collective effort, and he firmly believes that with this kind of commitment, Biafra's independence is only a matter of time. Simon Ekpa has also been pointing towards an upcoming event that he believes will be a turning point for the Biafra movement, and that is a Biafra convention in Finland. To him, this isn't just a regular gathering, it is a significant event, a moment that will, in his words, send a signal to the world that Biafra's independence is unstoppable. It is clear that he's expecting this convention to make a big splash, to attract attention, not just within Nigeria, but internationally as well, and is doing everything he can to build excitement around it, making it sound like a milestone that will go down in history. But the convention isn't just about speeches and gathering. Simon Ekpa has a major announcement plan for this event that has caught a lot of attention. He says they will be unveiling Biafra's official currency, which they are calling Ejema. Think about it. Launching a currency is a bold and symbolic step. A currency isn't just money, it is an emblem of identity. It represents a nation's economy, its independence, and its ability to stand on its own. By unveiling Ejema, Simon Ekpa believes that Biafra is sending a message to the world saying, we are ready to be our own nation. For Simon Ekpa, the creation of a Biafran currency is a huge leap towards establishing Biafra as an independent state. In his view, this is more than just a symbolic gesture. He sees it as a foundational step, a practical move that will help Biafra operate independently from Nigeria. It is as if he's already envisioning a future where Biafrans use their own currency in their daily lives, where Biafra's economy stands on its own, free from the Nigerian system. Right now, Simon Ekpa is well aware that his plans are controversial. The Nigerian government has always been firmly against any form of separation or secession, especially when it comes to Biafra. The government sees Biafra as part of Nigeria's sovereign territory and considers any attempt to break away as a direct challenge to the country's unity. But Simon Ekpa isn't backing down. In fact, he's addressing this head-on, saying, the Nigerian government cannot stop it. No forces on earth can prevent Biafra from happening. You can sense the confidence in his words. He's not just hopeful, he speaks as if he's already certain that Biafra's independence is inevitable, no matter who tries to stand in the way. And it is this confidence that has made Simon Ekpa such a prominent figure within the Biafra movement. He is known for his bold statements and his unwavering commitment to the cause. He is a controversial figure too. Some people see him as a hero, a leader who is standing up for the rights of his people. Others, especially those aligned with the Nigerian government, view him as a troublemaker, someone who is stirring up division in a country that has already seen its share of challenges. But love him or hate him, it is hard to ignore him. Simon Ekpa has a way of commanding attention, of making people listen to what he has to say. One of the things that sets Simon Ekpa apart is his ability to connect with people, not just within Nigeria, but also internationally. One of the things that sets Simon Ekpa apart is his ability to connect with people, not just within Nigeria, but also internationally. He has been actively spreading the Biafran cause through various international channels, reaching out to supporters and allies around the world. In his view, if Biafra is going to be recognized as an independent state, it will need international support. Recognition from other countries or even from international bodies like the United Nations would be a huge step towards legitimacy. That is why the Biafra Republic government in exile, the organization he represents, has been working tirelessly to build alliances and gain support from outside Nigeria. They are looking for voices that will stand with them, for countries and organizations that believes in their right to self-determination. Simon Ekpa has also pointed out that this journey towards independence isn't just about him or even the Biafra Republic government in exile. He described it as a movement fueled by the hopes and dreams of millions of Biafrans all over the world. He believes that this movement has a life of its own, a spirit that can't be extinguished. To him, every Biafran who believes in this cause is part of something larger, a collective force that no government or opposition can silence. It is this sense of unity, he says, that gives him the confidence to keep pushing forward no matter the challenges. But here is the thing. Simon Ekpa isn't naive about the difficulties that lie ahead. He knows that the road to independence isn't an easy one. He is aware of the opposition both within Nigeria and from outside forces who may have their own interests in keeping Nigeria intact. He knows that the Nigerian government has the resources, the military, and the political power to resist any attempt at secession. But in his eyes, none of that changes the fact that Biafra's independence is destined to happen. And that is where Simon Ekpa's message becomes almost like a call to action. He's not just telling people to hope, he's urging them to act, to believe, and to contribute in whatever way they can. Whether it is through financial support, raising awareness, or simply holding on to the belief that Biafra deserves its own place in the world. Simon Ekpa wants every Biafran to feel like they are part of this journey. The unveiling of Ejima, the new Biafra currency, is just one step in Simon Ekpa's larger vision for Biafra. In his mind, this is only the beginning. He sees a future where Biafra isn't just an idea, but a fully functioning nation with its own government, economy, and international relationships. He envisioned a Biafra that can stand tall on the world stage, recognized as an independent and sovereign state. Simon Ekpa's story and the story of Biafra as a whole is one that continues to unfold. It is a story of resilience, of people who have faced countless challenges yet continue to hold onto their dreams. For Simon Ekpa and his followers, the dream of Biafra isn't just a memory of a past struggle. It is a vision for the future, one they believe is within reach. So as we watch these events unfold, as we listen to Simon Ekpa's bold declaration and witness the unveiling of Ejima, the Biafran new currency, we are left with a question. Will Biafra's independence truly be unstoppable, as Simon Ekpa claims, or will the challenges prove too great for this movement to overcome? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Simon Ekpa and the Biafra movement are here. They are making sure that the world pays attention.
Those who think that Biafra will not come, look around yourself. What do you see? What do you see? Look at my eyes. What do you see? Nigeria is gone. We are freeing our people from the shackles of the Islamic State chain called Nigeria, from the terrorist state called Nigeria. Biafra is going, and I am leading Biafra out of Nigeria. The main liberation of Biafra will begin on the 2nd of December 2024. May God bless you.
Vote, everybody is casting their own, so just put, when you put your own, just leave. When you put when you put your own, you leave. Cast your own vote, then you leave. Cast your own vote, then you leave. Almost 100% say they no longer want to be a part of this nation called Nigeria. It's a front. Umuere County is doing very well. They are counting their votes in Umuere County. Coordinator, you are doing best. Secretary, thank you very much. Let the vote be recorded. Let's know how many votes we've recorded here. I think it's up to 250 votes. That is for today alone. So we thank you, Elohim. We bless your name. Thank you very much. The people are turning up. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm coming from India.
From India. What is your name?
My name is Uche Chubu. I'm from Ohaji.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead. From India. Go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, since the British came to our land and introduce currency that we are using today, called the pounds.
Yes. Yes.
And before they came, we have already been using
cowards.
Yes.
So if we get our freedom, are we going to use the same British currency? Or are we going to introduce our cowards, which is a ego iron?
No, we are going to be like every other person. We are going to have our own currency. It will not be called a pound. Isn't it very funny? It's a good thing, my dear sister, this point you raised. Isn't it very funny that the same people that hated us so much, Ojukwu actually pegged Biafran pound to the British pound, also called it pound as well. You see, can people now actually see the way that Britain ate into our brain? That even when they are killing us, we are still using their currency, pound. Unbelievable. That is to show the type of people we are. We are open-minded. Why Britain hates us is their business. Why Britain despises us is entirely up to them. I don't know. Now, to answer your question, we are going to go back to having our own currency. It won't be called pound. It won't be called dollar, but it will be pegged to the dollar, of course, because of exchange rate fluctuations and other, because of the likes of George Soros, people who speculate on currencies, people who run it down. They will come to you and tell you to devalue your currency because they've hedged their bet on your currency going down. That was how George Soros in one afternoon made £5 billion in front of our eyes. I saw it. Nobody told me. George Soros was not a very wealthy man before. This multi-billionaire now that is going all over the place playing God. George Soros was an ordinary currency trader in London. During the Black Wednesday, I think that was in 1990, I can't remember anymore, 1996 or 1997 in the UK, when Norman Lamont was the then Chancellor of the Exchequer. It was called the European Exchange Rate Mechanism. You know what they did? Britain said they will not be part of the ERM in Europe. In other words, the pound was allowed to float outside the ERM. And speculators led by George Soros, they got together to have a run on the pound. Do you know what they do? Currency speculators, is ordinary gambling. Gambling. George Soros put a lot of billions. He bet that this pound will be pushed out of the ERM. They told all their friends all over the world. They had a run on the pound. Everybody started to sell their pounds. That even if not for the intervention of Queen Elizabeth, who held a dinner with the Sultan of Brunei, the Sultan of Brunei wanted to pull out his investments in pound and put it in dollars. The Queen invited him for dinner, had dinner with him and convinced him to leave his investments in pounds. That was what saved the pound. The pound was run out of the ERM. And because George Soros bet money on it, he was paid £5 billion as a result. That was when he became a billionaire. Now listen to me very carefully. What we are going to do is this. We are going to have our own currency, but it's not going to be based on paper. We will try to minimize paper. The world has moved on. There are cashless transactions. Everybody will have their own card with which to make payments. All over the world, people are moving to cashless. Nobody carries cash anymore, but our own currency will be called a gemma, which is the currency of the Asians. Our own currency will be called a gemma, which is the currency of the Asians. A gemma it will be called. No pound, no dollar, no nothing. We are who we are.
Live and direct. Today, in 20th of October, this is our inauguration day. The day we are inaugurating the Biafra Liberation Army. The men know this. Live and direct. Men day live and direct. Biafra Liberation Army. Today being 20th of October. It's happening.
The Biafra Convention 2024 from November 29 to December 3rd, 2024. These days, Biafra from all over the walks of life will gather in Lahti, Finland for a 5-day event that will mark the beginning of the new era for generations to come. This is more than just convention, and I'm telling you, the enemy are not happy. They have done everything thinking that Nigeria can control and can get anything they want. But today, we are not just asthmating them. We are showing to them that not every country supports evil. It's a unification of a people reclaiming their identity, purpose, and future. The energy will be electrifying, historic, and the pride uncontainable as Biafrans come together to declare their restoration of their sovereignty. This monumental and historical event will showcase the symbol of our independence and identity, and here's what we have in stocks. For those who have been asking questions, what is this convention all about? You want to declare independence in a foreign land? We are not declaring independence in a foreign land. The independence of Biafra has already been declared. We are only restoring our lost sovereignty, just like the Lithuanians. The point is that the people don't read history. We are not going to be the first country to restore a lost sovereignty state. We will launch the Biafra National Identity Card and Passport during the Finland Convention. Finally, making every Biafran place and belonging official across the globe, we will unveil Biafra Ejema during this convention. The Biafra currency will be unveiled. A testament to our economic independence and strength. The flag of the United States of Biafra will be raised, standing tall as a banner of our unity and resilience, representing Biafra to the world. We also will adopt the Biafra Constitution during this convention, a document that enshrines our rights, principles, and governance for our new nation during this convention. We will also present the map of the United States of Biafra officially, defining our rightful borders and land. It is not just a map. Is a declaration of our place in the world. My fellow Biafrans in the US, we have dignitaries that will embrace the convention in Finland. Powerful policymakers from different parts of the world will be present in Finland. Powerful speeches will echo throughout the event with delegates and key international figures voicing our shared struggle for freedom, resilience, and determination And in a formal oral declaration of independence, of the restoration of the independence of Biafra, we will outline each vital aspect of our freedom step by step, solidifying our path to sovereignty state. This convention will also feature national debate on the issue that matters most to our new nation, uniting Biafrans from all backgrounds, representatives from across the 40 United States of Biafra, delegation from the different countries where Biafra has their liaison offices, and vote on bills, creating the legal backbone of our nation. The establishment of the declaration document will formally declare our restoration of independence of Biafra, marking our collective vision for the future. And to seal this commitment, Biafra delegate will sign this historic document symbolizing our dedication to a free and independent Biafra. This is just the tip of the iceberg, as many other incredible things will unfold as the United States of Biafra begin to formally enter into bilateral relationship with other existing nations of the world. And in this convention, we will have one of the imagining nation president to be part of it. This is not just gathering of people. It will be unified voice of over 50 million Biafrans who have already voted in the self-referendum, reflecting the clear will of the people to establish the United States of Biafra. On November 28, the final vote count will be concluded. And if the majority says yes to independence of Biafra, Biafra people will give the Biafra government the mandate on December 2nd to officially declare the restoration of independence of Biafra, fully defend it. The Biafra government will then be empowered by this legal document that will be generated from this convention and granted all legitimacy over a sovereign and independent United States of Biafra. This whole world will be watching, and the history awaits us all. I want you to understand that once this document has been generated and the Constitution of Biafra is voted on, which is a continuous document, a living document from the 1967 to 1970, the battle for the recognition of Biafra will then begin. At the same time, the legitimization of the Nigeria state within Biafra land will enter gear 10.
My father was particularly lucky to have his entire savings account turned onto the principal of my secondary school, who was an expatriate. My father had a savings of £10,000. His first son, my senior brother Joseph, was studying law in the United Kingdom. He had finished his first degree in London School of Economics, where I also went to, and was doing his master's. My dad felt we were all going to be killed during the war, and he gave brother Aloysius, a Scottish man who was principal of College of Immaculate Conception, his entire passbook, and asked him to train my brother abroad with these savings, but he should not tell him that the money was his. Because of foreign exchange restrictions, brother Aloysius could only take away £4,000 from the money. He told my brother that this was a loan from the marriage brothers to help his education. My brother rented a house bought a house in Maidavale, a flat in Maidavale in London. Those who know London know that it's a very rich area now. He and the son of the former president of Nigeria, who was his friend, Nwachukwu Azikiwe, became painters, and they painted the flat and they rent it out. And they went to East London and hired a one-bedroom studio apartment where both of them lived. That flat that my brother bought, had he not been stupid to sell it, is worth over £1 million today. But he sold it in order to finance his education. He got a master's degree, he got a PhD in law. And he came back and established in Western House and became a very prominent lawyer. But that £6,000 that was left in the money, my father discovered it 6 months after the war, when the manager of Barclays Bank then, which is now Union Bank, called him and revealed to him that he had £6,000 plus interest, which were not tampered with during the course of the war. My dad then decided to buy a Mercedes lorry bus. That time in the southeast, all the vehicles that were there had been used during the war, and many had been cannibalized, and the few that survived were smoking or hardly in any good condition to traverse state territories. There was no farming throughout the war, and a lot of people who were compressed in few communities where the war did not reach did not have enough food cultivated in those communities to sustain them. So all the food that were coming to the east were brought from the west and the north, principally from the north. And so all the transporters had made a lot of money transporting food. Daddy decided to buy a Mercedes 911 lorry. And my mother cooked a very delicious meal that evening to congratulate him. And the highest she could kill was a chicken. And she reserved the gizzard in our custom for my father and some of the precious parts. As they were clinking their glasses in the veranda, my mom was thanking my father for making this investment, because now she had 3 children who were either supposed to go to university or now due for university who couldn't go, including myself, my immediate senior who later became governor of my state, and my late sister who became a pharmacist. And my father said, you know, we just made money for the drivers because we have no way of knowing how much he earned and how much he will bring back to us. I was astonished to hear this. And so I said I was going to become a conductor. In the morning I brought out my bag and I went downstairs to inspect the car and to organize the driver and the conductor. And my mom said to me, where are you going to? I said, I'm following these people. She said, you're a foolish man. Go and drop that bag. I said, what do you mean? He said, I say I must go because I want to make sure that me and my siblings go to school. She said, oh, your father wants to use his son to make money. I said, Mama, you must go to confession to our priest. So this driver and this conductor are not people's children. So you and your husband can use them to make money, but you can't use your son. And don't forget, I was a lieutenant in the war, and I was now audacious enough to confront my mother, having been exposed to chivalry. My mother was a little constrained by the fact that I antagonized her with God. And she shook her head and said, okay, come, let's go to my room. I need to pray for you. We got to her room. She was confused. She didn't know what she had called me to her room for. She gave me 2 charms, one of which I'm wearing in my neck, and one of which is in my pockets. One is a chaplet and one is a crucifix. And she said to me, the Lord will protect you. And I came on and jumped on the 911. And as we drove off, they told me she kept running after us and crying. But I went to Lafia, Akwanga, Bukuru, Jos, Mubi, Maiduguri. I was running down at hills when the vehicle was moving slowly and difficult to climb, and I was putting the wedge to make sure it doesn't roll back. And I was shouting, "Oh, Cheve." My brother was in England, and when we wrote him letters that we were balancing 500 pounds every 2 weeks, he and one of his late friends, Felix Okoye, went to the Netherlands and bought a Volkswagen bus and sent to us. I went back to Daddy and said, I want to also establish the revenue pattern in this Volkswagen bus. And every 6 a.m., those who understand Igbo will know what I'm about to say now, I went to a place called 9th Mile Corner where the vehicle was loaded to drive it to Makodi and Otripo. And I used to shout on the road, 9 Mile Otripo, 10 shillings.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.